Smallmouth. That's whenever they are really confused, when a smallmouth's in the back of a creek. In September though, you don't complain. So we're getting out a little late this morning. Kind of set the scenario. You know, it's early fall. When I say early fall, it's only the calendar says that. We've been super, super hot. You know, one of the toughest times I think to fish is that August, September in the south. And the main reason being, it's not about water temperature, it's not about anything else other than the fish are just scattered out from 2 foot down to 40 foot. It all depends on that, you know, where that thermocline is, on how deep you can go. But that's the issue. It's not like spring where 90% of them are, you know, close to the bank, or winter when 90% of them are out. They're just everywhere, and even out there in that deeper water, you know, you might pull up to one place and they might be 5 foot underneath the bottom, underneath shad. Next place they might be on the bottom. So today we're gonna go hunting. You know, we're gonna use live scope. I got 3 or 4 baits laid out. We're just gonna put the trolling motor down, go to some of these places and just try to catch them. You know, there's not gonna be just one bait. I don't think it will be. We're gonna have to use several, just depending on where those fish are. It's just a tough time of the year, and you know, if we were fishing a tournament today, it's one of those days if we could just catch, you know, 14 pounds, 15 pounds on a lake that in the spring it takes over 20. It's just a tough time of the year, so it's all about hunting. Like I said, we're going to go hunt them down and just see if we can catch some. You know, even though we're in 20 foot of water and there's a brush pile out there, those fish are just scattered. So what I want to do is bring this topwater over the top and try to get the easy ones. You know, a lot of times it kind of depends on the time of day. There'll be a time of day where they'll crush it. Other times they won't. But try to get an easy one or two, and then, you know, try a different bait. You know, like the sonar minnow, a little bit deeper, and then last resort we'll get up there close to it and try a little worm or something. Ah, I missed him. He was on the bottom, and I didn't see him, but when the boat got close to him, they all came up. There was a bunch of them there, but that's why I was pitching the drop shot. Is just I didn't see anything up high. But a lot of times they'll do that. They'll get so close to the bottom that they're hard to see. You get that boat around, a bass is the most curious fish. You get that boat around in that nose of that boat splashing, you see them come off the bottom and look and kind of get interested in the boat. Those are bass, every time. Lost my weight. A lot of guys drop shot and they use smaller weights, which is fine. This is actually a half. You know, when I see them on that thing around the bottom, I want to be able for it to get down there really fast and kind of surprise them. It's almost like flipping bushes. You know, if I was sitting on a spot and casting at structure or something, you know, smaller weight might work better, more lifelike and stuff, but doing this, like hunting them down, I want something where I can get down there and put it right on their head fast. We're going to be optimistic. We're going to get 3 or 4 baits out. One of them days. I cannot hook him. So we're calling the audible. You know, the plan was to go out there and live scope them, and the wind is literally blowing 30 miles an hour, and there's just one, I don't want to say a negative, but it's just really hard to chase them. I mean, I see them, you know, I got to run the trolling motor to be able to follow them, and I lose them. Just hard to do it, hard to sit out there. They're acting weird anyway, so that's kind of the rule I've always had. Whenever you're having stuff to catch them, you go and you get on the windiest bank, throw a spinnerbait, throw a square bill. A little clear for a spinnerbait, so we're gonna just go across and pick up a square bill and take off. Look at that one with him. One with him, a little bit bigger, a spot. So we caught a spot out of 30. We caught one out of 5. You know what that tells me? That it's September. It's just, you never know. And here's the thing is, in my experience in September, you figure it out one day and the next day it'll be totally different. So you kind of got to be open-minded. A lot of the, you know, back in the day, fishing around the house in September a bunch, you know, we did good. We won a lot of tournaments and boats and things like that. And I think back to all the ones that we won, or even the ones we did good in, and we never did the same thing 2 days in a row. Like we might catch them flipping docks the first day, topwater in the second day. I don't know, and what that boils down to is in September, it's one of the few months where, so that's a stick bass, one of the few months where bait trumps structure. Like all they do is follow bait. You know, we out there this morning looking, you know, every shad ball we saw, there'd be 3 or 4 or 5 fish with them. You know, just moving around, and that's the thing is they're just scattered everywhere. You just gotta try different stuff and keep moving. Keep your eyes open, like right up there was one hit. You know, with a lot of these fish this time of year, on this lake and a lot of lakes around here, they don't want to be on the bottom. You know, they're chasing shad. They're looking up. And the 3 bites that I had on square bill so far have all been when the bait clears the bottom. So you know, you get back here in this real shallow water, that's 2 foot, 3 foot. You know, I just picked that pop-R up because I feel like this square bill is going to go underneath them. But there's like a little ditch right here, so we can crank, you know, some of these stumps. And then when it gets real shallow, I'll pick that square bill back up, or that pop-R back up, or if I see one bust. You would think that's where they would hold up back here chasing shad and stuff. I mean, they're roaming around, but if they're gonna sit in one spot, it would be on these trees. Smallmouth. That's whenever they are really confused, when a smallmouth's in the back of a creek. In September though, you don't complain. Crazy. Easy, buddy. It's just a little, it's the small speed in. I can just reel it so fast, and in the fall, that's what I want. Something that I can move real quick. It doesn't matter if it's a spook, spinnerbait, crankbait. I want to be moving it. I swear, schooling fish, you're better off just to not even throw until that right there happens. Over there. Because you're always one cast behind. Got a little secret bait when they're doing this. I don't get much smaller than that. Every bite that I've gotten is with that bait going fast. I mean, I literally had 3 bites reeling my bait in. You just got to trick them. I went to the clear little spook just because it doesn't have any color to it, so it might look like it's smaller than it actually is. Old Bull Shoals trick, they're still up there. It's so shallow that you can see the mud trails where they're chasing. Whenever you get in a situation like this, longer you stay here, you'll realize there'll be little places where they chase. Right now, there's one right over there in that ditch, and then on this point. You know, when you're fishing, it doesn't matter if it's in September, April. You see a lot of fish around, and you can't get bit, or you know there's fish around. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that'll sit down and just change baits, trying to figure out that one bait. And I have done that occasionally. I mean, like, I'll figure out one bait that they bite, but in most cases it's about just going quicker, making them react. Like working this spook right now, you know, you guys are used to watching this, not even close to doing that. I'm really almost just reeling it in where it's skipping across the water. 2 reasons. 1, it makes them react, and 2, they don't get a good look at it. There's 100 million shad in this pocket right here, and I want them to bite my one plastic shad. You got to do something to make them bite. That's why I'm working it so fast. And the clearer the water is, the more you can get away with. Just, you know, it's windy, you can just almost burn the bait back in. I just don't have a lot of options because it's about that deep. you know, I'd like to square a bill or something like that. You can see the mud right there. I just hit the trolling motor. How many casts have I made across that point? You just gotta hit them at the right time. It's so shallow they can't even like blow up on it. I think that's why they're not getting it good, and the fact there's just so much bait in here, and we're fishing with artificial lures. You know how that goes. But you know, it's September. Look at my rods all over the boat. Look at my baits. They're scattered out everywhere. Caught one on a spook, drop shot. I think I caught one on the popeye. Just smorgasbord everything. Now typically across the country, I know around where I live, that's how it is. It's hard to go out and do one thing, it's just scattered all over. So tough fishing, expect it when you go out. But the good thing is, it doesn't take that much to win these tournaments, and you know, it doesn't take that much to have a good day. This time of year, it's about a little front. You know, you get a little front and they'll trigger and they'll bite, and they'll take a few days off, they'll trigger until it really cools off. There's one chasing right there. It really cools off and they'll really bite. So just expect it. September in most cases is pretty tough. Appreciate you guys following along. It's been a tough day, but that's how it is sometimes. We don't always catch them every single day.